Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in Twyne, a village in the Hills of Amber. We were just led here by Taffy here. Wanted to introduce us to his boss so we can find a way to lose the tram. This is it, welcome to Twyne. The original dwellings were built to house those laborers tasked with building the track. Over time, miners came to seek their fortunes, and that's what made the town grow to what you see before you today. But it was still a trolley that brought them here. As you've doubtless noticed, the track goes through the very heart of the town. It was the heart of the town, back when the trolleys still carried everyone home at the end of each hard day in the mines. Now there's no trolley, no much work to be had in the mines. For that matter, the only residents that remain are the destitute, the delusional, and those with nowhere else to go. Or so they say. That should give you some indication of what to expect when you meet Magnus. As I've said, it will help you understand why we can't get a trolley running. Just don't expect too much aside from that. Well, that's encouraging, but I don't see that we have much choice. Let's go and meet the man. Who are you supposed to be? Never seen a free of you in my life. Over 4 of you? Wicked right, if you're going to bother me, at least have a damned courtesy to stand still. Methinks this one is deep in his cups. These are my guests, Magnus. We ran into them at the mines. They're looking for a way to reach Nabaath Areng, so they came to ask about the trolley, you see? What? There's nothing in Nabaath Areng. Not anymore. And especially not for frail little girls. Give it up. No, we must reach Nabaath Areng. I must. So you have your heart set on it. The world doesn't care. The place is a ruin, nothing more. And you're not getting there in the trolley. The thing doesn't run on hopes and dreams. We're no fools. It's necessity that drives us to Nabaath Areng. If you insist that the trolley is not an option, at least tell us why. No, I'm sick of people asking me about the blasted thing. Leave me be. We'll speak outside. He doesn't want to speak about how hopeless it is. He wants a solution. I'd be lying if I said I didn't expect that, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Stubborn ass. I sense there's more to this belligerent drunkenness tale. He only said that because he thinks I'm weak, and he's right. But I can't be... I won't be forever. There has to be some way. I must find it. I'm sorry, I was stuck in my own head again. It's clear that Magnus has no intention of helping us. But perhaps we should ask the other residents? They may know something of a trolley. I'll take the north side of town. Let me know if you learn anything. Thankrit art thou truly content to stand witness to fate's cause and take no part. That isn't a matter of fate, Yuanji. It's about choice. I've had years to decide where I stand. and Philly has spent too long in chains already. I would not shackle her again by making my hopes known. It's for her to choose what shape her destiny will take. It is for me to stay silent, to protect her, to teach her, and stand by her. That at least I can do for her. So be it. Come, let us make our own inquiries. Give me your bicolor gemstones. Wait, I meant, I have stuff, things, that I could trade. Map. Oh, here we are. You'll be pleased to know that I got my friends back home with no trouble, and he's just fine. He was a bit shaken up is all. And you? What did Magnus have to say? Didn't want to talk. I did have a faint hope that your need might prompt him into action, where our interest has not, but I suppose that was foolish of me. I'm sorry that you couldn't be of help, though. I could at least show you the trolley car that we have here, if you like. You could give it a stroke or two. It has some very smooth wood. You mean to say you're not giving up? Even knowing that Magnus is, Magnus? I don't see much point in your being stubborn about it, though perhaps stubbornness is exactly what the situation calls for. Can't forge iron without an anvil, after all. I can't imagine that anything you try will work, but if you're certain you can help me make progress in the event that it does. To that end, take this toolbox. We're going to inspect the rails. I'll have a look along the tracks for anything that's in need of repair. You bring the tools and be ready to hand them to me whenever I stop to work. I need to target myself for this. You open the box, reveal the proud array of lovingly maintained tools within. Brilliant. Now if you could hand me what I need to work, that would be a help. In this case, well, this boat is loose for one matter. We can't have that, I need to tighten it. A wrench. For a bolt, right? Thank you, this one will do nicely. Now give me a moment and... There, I don't see any other problems here, so let's continue along the track. You set down the toolbox, the muscles of your arms enjoying profound relief, and open it once again. Heavy box, huh? You're quite handy to have around, you know. As to the lamp here, these aren't often necessary these days, but if we're going to do this, we might as well do it properly. And if by some miracle the night returns, as it did in Lakeland, well, it's a nice thought. Anyhow, a bit of this post seems to have splintered. Whether its lamp is to be lit or not, we wouldn't want these little pieces of wood jabbing the next person who come through here to do maintenance. I'll need to sand it down a bit. file. Yes, a wood file is perfect. Let me even this out. That should do it. I'll bring some varnish along next time to finish the job. I haven't spotted any other problems, so we can move along now. And yes, you'd like to take in a view of the tracks from here for a bit longer? It's breathtaking, I know. Mining has always been the primary vocation of the folks in the hills of Amber, you see? But after a certain point, they had dug up everything that could easily be reached and carried back by manpower alone. It was then that the Nabaath Empire struck up the idea of a Talos, which we had seen at work abroad. At great expense, the Nabaath brought the missile engineers who specialized in Talos here, to the hills. And wouldn't you know it, the mining industry picked right up again. Twyne itself sprung up around that time, as a matter of fact. It was named after the entwining of tales, the fruitful cooperation between the native Ronso and the newly come Mistel. But that, like so much else, fell apart in the wake of a flood. The Mistel left, taking their knowledge with them. It was 15 years ago with the last of them. The folks from Daedalus Stoneworks took off for Yulmore, and now no one remains that can repair and operate the Talos. But there's no use in lamenting what can't be changed, and there's one more thing we need to do out here, so we might as well get to it. Vultures occasionally make their nests on the tracks, you see, and it falls to us to remove them when they do. The creatures are angry when disturbed, which is natural, but nevertheless a danger to anyone passing by. Not my favorite task, to be honest. As you may have noticed, I'm not terribly suited to confrontation. That said, would you follow the tracks north and remove any nests you find for me? I'll keep an eye on things here. I fall. Oh, dang it. Why? What is with my controls? Oh, seriously, okay. Sometimes my mouse macros just won't work properly. So let's switch to keyboard only. Thank you. That should be everything taken care of. In return for your help, I tell you a bit more about the trolley. Nothing that can get it started again, though. As I said, the only people who knew how to repair the Talos are long gone. When they left, life began to bleed out of the town. The trolley's tracks rusted, and its cars fell into disrepair. Now, I was born in Twyne, raised there. My first word was Trolley, damn it, and those were the worst years in my life. But then, about 7 years passed, Magnus and his wife returned to us. Magnus is a real proper trolley engineer, and perhaps he would never have left in the first place if it hadn't been for his son. As you're well aware, Areng is hardly the safest place, and Magnus wanted his child to grow up away from its dangers. It didn't help in the end. The Sin Eaters got the boy. Isn't that always the way? The child had always said that someday he wanted to see Magnus's trolley running again. So in his memory, they returned to Twyne, started fixing those rusted rails and broken cars. It was going well for a time. Wicked white vultures? Are they back for revenge? Never mind, I don't want to find out. Nice work out there. And now you know the story of a trolley. Won't do you much good without the Talos, though. If there was even a single one that still functioned, things might be different, but, well, here we are. Not that it'll do you any good, but we do have a Talos we've been meaning to repair. I can show you if you'd like. It would certainly be nice to hear something other than Magnus griping for a change. Looks like somebody's already beaten us here, but please, look about as much as you like. Thou art come to examine the Talos. Let's do that. Truly a most vexing state of affairs. I thought mayhap a closer examination might yield something of value. I see, the means to build Talos stone by stone are lost to us, 'tis true. But here before us slumbers a most fine specimen. Indeed, were it not for a few minor failings, it would be in working condition. It will likely require naught but a few modest repairs and a suffusion of ether. Well, if you think you can get the thing up and running, far be it from me to stop you, but what exactly do you reckon is the problem? I should stress that I have performed only the most cursory of examinations, though such arcane constructs are not wholly unfamiliar to me. As I did suspect from the first, it is a host to a network of veins through which ether flows freely. Or so it would, if there were not several fractures which now impede that flow. How in the hell did you get all that from just a glance? I take it you thought up a solution as well then? To bridge the fissures require a material highly conductive to ether. Once in place, I believe it will be possible to restore the Talos to life. Might I prevail upon me to acquire that which we require? Not far beyond the walls of Twyne dwelleth a creature of living stone, the Nabaath. Full sure am I that stone from such a being would prove most suitable to our needs. Alright, I'm on it. Very good. I shall have Thancred and Ophelia attend me in the remaining preparations. I spied but 3 obstructions to the flow of ether in the Talos, and thus would I ask you provide 3 stones of the Nabaath. All else will be made ready upon thy return. And the boy jumps in joy. Wish we had a Major Kim around sooner. As you might imagine, we've had trouble convincing people to come here to help. But either refuse outright or demand payment far beyond anything we could hope to afford. It's why we've made such little progress in repairing the Talos. We've pored over every scrap of paper left behind by Talos' stoneworks, hoping we might learn how it's done. But that just isn't enough. Thancred and Ophelia will return ere long with the remaining supplies we require. This will succeed in procuring stone from the Nabaath. Fine specimens, one and all. You have my thanks. We need now but wait for Thancredum and Phileas' return. From end to end, the path by which aether may flow through the Talos have been duly mended. They but require sufficient endowment. It's not moving. Strange, the core refuses to stir. I fear the condition of this Talos is more dire than I previously surmised. As a heart driveth blood through a man's veins, so does the core aether throughout his massive frame. Failing its repair or replacement, the Talos cannot be restored. So it was the heart after all. Thou didst foresee this outcome? Well, no, not exactly. We've never gotten this far in trying to repair it, so we had no way of knowing the heart was the real problem. We tried to find another in case things turned out as they are now, but... Jarek? This isn't really my story to share. Please, Jarek, if something went wrong, please, maybe we can help. Alright, alright. After all you lot have done for me, I suppose it's the least I can do. I hope Jarek doesn't get in trouble for telling us what happened. What could be so terrible he'd want to keep it from us? Right then, the Talos. Their hearts cannot be made of just any stone. We need a special sort with sufficient ethereal conductivity. Both it and the other materials used in the construction of Talos bodies are mined in the same place. But of course being here in the Hills of Amber. And it was 3 years ago when she... No, I can't. I'm sorry, but you'll have to hear it from Tafe or someone else. Back to the tavern then. The wife died here. The wife of Magnus. Still here? You can ask again, but the answer's the same. Our trolleys are... What? God damn it, Jarek. You could have at least finished so I wouldn't have to clean up your mess. Seeing how you made such quick progress in fixing the Talos and all, he was probably thinking you could help change things around here. And I think he may be right. Gather your friends and I'll tell you what you want to know. Wrong voice, but... Okay.
Magnus's wife was a miner, you know. Greatest prospector there ever was. When the golem hearts started failing, she was the first to head out in search of more. Problem was, most of the veins ran dry ages ago, and finding fresh ones to tap's only gotten harder. But she wasn't one to be deterred. She just kept digging deeper and deeper. And then the mine collapsed. We labored day and night to clear away the rubble, but it took us 2 months to find her. To find her body. Magnus has never been the same since.
Where is he, if you don't mind my asking?
Ah, yes, well, if he's not here... There's only one other place he'd be.
Where she died? Ah, the grave.
What? Oh, you again. How many times must I tell you? The trolley won't run! We'd be better off dismantling the damn thing and selling the parts for scrap. Now, piss off back to wherever you came from. And don't let me catch you around here again.
What were their names?
My son was named Scully. My wife, Agna. Being here with them, it beats going home. Home stopped being home when I lost them. I thought to try and drown my sorrows, but somehow, the bottle's never deep enough.
Important lesson for drinking, right?
No bottle is. Believe me, I know.
You've lost someone too?
Not like you. Not my own flesh and blood. I grew up an orphan, so I never really knew what family meant. Not until I met a man who offered to take me in and make me his pupil. He was a kindly soul, always looking out for me, like a father. Not that I appreciated that at the time, or anything else for that matter. But I finally had a family. And then I robbed a young girl of hers. I did my best to make amends, to offer her comfort. But the more I look back on it, the more I realize just how inadequate my efforts were. I let her down. That is why I refuse to let her legacy die. In the end, all we can do is press on, for those we have lost, for those we can yet save. And that requires your Talos. Please, Magnus. You are our only hope of reaching Nabaath Areng.
What rubbish.
She's not gone. No matter what you say or believe, she's not. We can still bring her back.
Well, let's see how this continues next time then. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.